guys, welcome back to Let's Talk It Out. I'm flying solo tonight, but Francesca, miss you. Francesca will be here the next time. We're thinking about you. And I do have, as usual, Stefano at the back. Hello.
Okay, hold on a second. Flying solo?
Oh, well, solo meaning female.
Solo meaning alone,
Female-wise.
right? Meaning I'm not here. I'm not.
Yes, you are here, but I'm talking about my partner on Let's Talk It Out.
Okay.
Right?
All
because
right.
she's not here tonight,
I
but she
understand.
will be here
Okay.
the next time.
Okay.
Francesca, we're waiting for you. So, guys, Let's Talk It Out. Stay tuned. It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and somewhere else.
Amazon, Apple Podcast.
I said that.
Spotify,
You're right.
Amazon Music, and all of that stuff.
It's everywhere. And as you should watch us, everywhere.
On YouTube, of course.
On everywhere. Okay, guys. And tune into our brother podcast as well, Sessions with Steph, which comes after Let's Talk It Out, because Let's Talk It Out is first, because ladies are first.
Damn
Just
right.
saying.
Damn right.
That's what it is. So before we start, I want to say thank you guys so much for our amazing sponsors. Without our sponsors, we can't really be this happy, right? Because we're happy. But with sponsors, we're happier-est, because we know that you guys...
We're going to take a short little break to take some English courses, and then we'll continue with this podcast.
But I did it on purpose because the excitement is just so verbal.
I love it.
It's verbose, and it's exciting, all kinds of vibes. So that's why, guys, thanks so much for sponsoring. And our first sponsor, as usual, is Nettoyage Diamant. Thanks. I tried to be a crowd there, but it didn't work. It was pretty pathetic. Anthony Paterno, you rock. This guy and Nettoyage Diamant, his company washes everything. Big spaces, small spaces, diagonal spaces, dark spaces, light spaces, high spaces, low spaces. Everything. So guys, if you want to clean your space, because he's really good, it's Anthony Paterno, Nettoyage Diamant, 514-686-1581. Info at nettoyagediamant.com. You can also find him on Instagram at Nettoyage Diamant. So guys, Anthony Paterno, thanks so much always for your continued support. Awesome. And another avid supporter who's been sponsoring us as well often is Mr. Van Kropsel from Remax Alliance. Thanks so much, Monsieur Equipe Kropsel. Very, very gracious of you to do so. Great real estate broker, very informative, well-informed. He knows exactly what you need. You just sit down, talk to him, and he's definitely going to show you the way. So Van Kropsel is definitely the guy to go to. Remax Alliance, 438-402-9471. VANC at remax-quebec.com or vankropsel.com. Thank you so much, Van, for your continued support. It's so appreciated. And Nettoyage Diamant as well, guys. We so appreciate you. Now for our wonderful guest. I'm excited. I'm excited because you do something that interests me greatly. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Amber Ardizzone. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
There's, you know what? Everybody's nervous when they come in. When they leave, they say, what do you mean it's already over? What's going on? But I'm so thankful that you're here. You definitely do something that really interests me, and that is interior design. You work with, and I noticed you have a website, and I did go onto your website, and I did do a lot of research in the sense that you're very passionate about your interior design, and it really comes across. And I commend you on the website. Very well formatted, very well done. And I just, without further ado, we're going to jump right in there.
Okay, let's jump.
How did it start? We don't have any floaties. We're just going to jump right in. How did it start? Tell us about you and your journey into interior design.
So mine is not a linear one. It kind of took a lot of turns and twists. I actually have a business degree.
Nice.
From John Wilson. And I was actually wanted to be in finance. So that kind of started everything. But even from very young, I was always really interested in fashion. And, you know, I would go in my parents' closets and make outfits. So that's kind of a progression because I did start my career at Levi's.
Oh, nice.
Doing visual presentation for 35 stores. And so that kind of led me into, you know, the reasoning why people would want to shop in a certain place.
Sorry, I got to cut in. Just play with the mic. Yeah, put it a little closer and go ahead. Say something.
Hello.
There you go. Now you're back. You're back. You
I'm
can bring
back?
it a little
closer?
closer. Sure.
All right.
Great.
That's good?
Perfect.
Okay. So I started the career in fashion. I still dabble in fashion now because I think that it's relevant to interior designing. It's kind of all interlinked together.
Sure.
And then I started flipping houses.
Oh, nice.
I was.
Okay.
That's
pretty random, right?
That's random.
Random.
A little random.
Yeah,
Very nice,
and so I got married very young, and we were very passionate about real estate, and so we bought properties in Florida, up north, in different places, and we renovated them ourselves. So, when I was younger, I've done backsplashes, I've done flooring, I've done, everything that I do now. I have personally done myself on a really tight budget.
Wow.
And so when my clients come to me, they, I understand, when they have the money and they're like, I can't go really much further than that. I totally understand because I've been there.
Yeah.
I've renovated with really young kids, and it's hard. It's really, really hard. So anyway, I ended up taking a break from my career because I actually was in fashion. I got headhunted. I went to Toronto and I was working through a company that wanted to deal with Ogilvy's. So I was always kind of in the higher luxury end spectrum. So that's why I kind of focus on a little bit more higher end when it comes to interior designing custom.
Okay.
So I took a break when I had my kids, but I still had the properties, and I did back in the day when Airbnb wasn't around, that was VRBO. So I'm the one who, rented out all that kind of stuff, all of our properties. When I had my 3 kids, and then finally my husband at the time said, I think you need to get out because you're going crazy.
Yeah.
So I randomly applied as an interior designer at a company.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
I know.
What the
No,
fuck?
exactly. I just randomly one night, the kids were sleeping. I had a glass of wine and I just shot out my CV. And it was for a job that I was not appropriate for. But he says, listen, I like your vibe. I like what you've done. Why don't you come in and see? And they ended up hiring me.
Oh, sweet.
And they took a chance,
Wow.
So yeah, I've been really fortunate that kind of things lined up that way.
Nice.
And so I worked that. I did project management for 5 teams of installers for kitchens and bathrooms. I did all that stuff, and then eventually I'm like, I need to do this on my own. So 2 years ago, I went out on my own.
Okay.
I started my business right during COVID.
Oh, perfect timing.
Well,
Actually, in the housing market, the timing wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So what happened with COVID, which was a blessing in disguise for interior designers,
Yeah.
I can
is
imagine.
that everybody was at home, sitting 24/7,
Fuck yeah.
looking at the 4 walls, saying, "Fuck this place."
Yeah, totally. What am I going to do now?
They weren't traveling. They were not spending money on vacays. They were not buying cars. They couldn't get cars. They couldn't, and so they were just done. And so I was super busy.
Oh my
That's
God.
Very, very
Really?
busy. Yeah. So I was very fortunate in the sense that my business started right away, which is not unusual for entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was going to
Yeah.
say.
Exactly.
I'm glad to hear that because I knew there were some businesses that prospered.
Yeah.
But it's hard to pick them out when because I'm a musician. So it was like,
Oh boy, you
dead
got hit hard.
Yes.
hard, right?
Hard, really hard. Yeah.
And then, it's like, but it's give and take. And then I would try to think of some businesses that actually made it. And I'm like, I don't know. The housing market, real estate agents definitely did well.
Yeah.
I never thought of an interior design.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So I did a house in Brossard. I'm in the West Island, but I do Montreal, Laval, and he wanted to put an extension. It was almost impossible to figure that out during COVID, and people just had to be patient. Had to be patient. The delays for everything and whatnot, and so I have to say, at that point, having a designer really helped. Because I knew the process already, but then I also had to adjust because there was all of these long delays for everything. And it was nightmarish. I mean, the project came out phenomenal. I don't have pictures on my website. I have to go and have them done because I just finished 2 other projects right now. So I'm a bit, yeah, and it's bigger projects that I do.
Okay.
So, but I'm always really fortunate. I have amazing clients. Because I don't know, maybe it's like I just choose them or they choose me, but like the energy that I have with the interaction I have, it's just phenomenal. And it's,
wow.
I swear, if I was financially set, I would still do this as a job. I still would. I love it so much.
Wow,
that's awesome. Well, I noticed on your website you have functionality as one of your main points.
Yes.
And I did some research, and it says either functionality or appeal. So why did you veer towards functionality over appeal?
So a lot of times, so my market is really 30s, 40s with young children. They, in their space, especially when you have young children, is that it's already super stressful as it is, like the running around this and that. And so, and I go in all the time, they call me in and they say, I've had it with my space. So it's really important to have things work.
Yeah, of course.
When you pull out the drawer, you want that spatula.
Oh God!
You're like, it's not coming. It's like not today. And like things falling apart, and it's a stressor because you use your kitchen all the time.
Yes.
It's the hub of everything.
The house.
Of the house.
Absolutely.
It's always a kitchen party. It's always everything. So believe it or not, and I know this is going to sound strange, but when you set up functionality, it actually reduces stress in a house.
100%.
I could imagine that.
It reduces stress in the house. It makes for better environment. A lot of times I get people say, well, my kids never came down and sat with us, and all of a sudden they're doing their homework at the island now because they just love the space.
Yeah.
And so that's why I choose functionality. I mean, of course, I still make it look beautiful.
Yes.
But functionality is going to be my first choice.
Okay.
Oh, it has to be, yeah.
It has to be. The garbage will not be on the complete other side of the kitchen. The dishwasher has to make sense.
Does it always happen? Because I just did right before COVID. I took out a wall. I redid my whole kitchen, living room, all of that stuff, and I love it. I added the island. I did, everything you're saying. The functionality is perfect.
Yep.
One thing. There's always one fucking thing that you forget. And that was opening the compost and garbage bin at the same time as the dishwasher's open. I can't open it all the way.
Oh.
And it's a pisser every single night. I'm like, why didn't I think that the garbage wouldn't open? I would have just tossed it over a foot and it would have made all the difference. But it's so important.
Those are the things that, because there's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And homeowners usually 1, maybe 2 kitchens, 1, maybe 2 bathrooms in their lifetime, maybe 3 if they move.
Yeah.
I've done 60 kitchens. I've done 30 bathrooms.
True.
So, I have done 4 entire homes. I changed a 4-bedroom to a 3-bedroom. So I know, I've been there. If something went wrong, I probably went through it. And so people say, oh my God, the money to spend for designers is such a waste. It's this and that. If you think it's a waste, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just that at the end, when you're 30-40% over budget and you're not getting what you want, that is the thing. And things like that happen where, now you're kind of stuck. You're like, what do I do? Now I'm going to have to do something else now.
Do you mind if I ask this question?
Sure.
And if you don't have to answer, how is the I don't know the business at all.
Yep.
How does the rates, like, is it on the total job? Is it a percentage? Is it an hourly rate? How does that work? Like, is it
what I did during COVID actually is that I have a business degree, but I didn't know for interior designing. So I actually took a business course for interior designers.
Oh, wow.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
Very good.
So that because one of the things in any industry is pricing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't price properly, you'll lose your shirt.
100%.
You'll work for nothing.
Yeah.
You'll work for free.
Yeah.
And vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you don't get a client.
That's it.
I work on a basis of by the project. So I look at the project and it's an amount. It's usually a percentage of the entire project.
Okay.
Is usually the way it is.
Okay.
And then anything above and beyond that, is usually at an hourly rate.
Okay.
Okay.
So
you don't like come and clean the house after every week once it's done and stuff? 'Cause-
No,
I
don't
damn.
think so.
No.
I was just looking. I'm fishing, you know, like you never know.
No. So, so I like doing that because the client knows, okay, this chunk of money is set for the designer. And, because I've been there, like, I don't want plus on my budget.
Yeah.
Nobody's unlimited budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Except for the last client I did. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was amazing. The one in NDG, I'm telling you, it was amazing. Like, I don't even know if I'll ever get that again. But that being said, I know what it feels like to have to say, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this because I don't have the money to do it.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So.
Is there like some sort of, I don't want to say guarantee, but like what happens if a year later it's like, you didn't think that the sink would fucking overflow after like something stupid?
Yeah. Because I do, for me, because I specialize in kitchens and bathrooms, I really do layouts of homes, right? So like I'm literally taking down structural walls. I hire the structural engineers and planning everything. And I do everything on AutoCAD. So there's a lot of planning ahead of time. There's probably 6 to 8 months of planning ahead of time. So
holy God.
So it's not like we don't walk in 2 weeks. If somebody says to me, I want something done for September, and it's like, I'm sorry, no, it doesn't work like that. And especially if they have big ideas, that they want to switch things around. It happened to me when I first started, kind of like what you did, where the dishwasher was in one of the spaces that I didn't realize, and like you when you emptied it, you had to empty it on the counter and then put it up and then put it into the cabinets because you couldn't reach across. I was like, oh no.
It's So what do you do? That's like something that's like. Oops. Or...
Yeah, that it depends how bad it is. It's never happened to me to that extent, like oops, that big.
Yeah.
And they do sign off on it. On the plans, they are fully aware of that. Yeah. And that's one of the things to getting somebody who has experience.
Yeah.
Versus
right?
somebody who's who doesn't have as much experience. You're paying for that experience.
Yeah, 100%.
So in terms of the interior design, how long have you been involved in this?
So at the other company that I did work for them for 6 years as an interior designer, and then for myself 2.
Okay.
So I would say I'm going probably about 3. So I would say maybe a total of like working for somebody else about 9-10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but the knowledge you had.
But I used my own money. I flipped my own houses. I took the risk of those kind of things. So I've been doing that since I was 22.
So that's priceless.
Yeah. So and I'm 52. So that's 30 years, just in case.
That's
a long time.
So, but you know what you're talking about. And in the house, the biggest selling point is your kitchen and your bathroom.
Your kitchens and bathrooms are where the seller will start taking money off of the price of the home. Because I'm very passionate about real estate.
Yes.
I understand this. And people will say, well, how much money? I don't know. A lot of times people will say, but I said, what's your budget? Like, I don't know what I need to put in it. Yeah. So there's always a percentage, depending if you're going to stay short-term, medium-term, or long-term.
Yeah.
And so I guide them to say, listen, if you're staying short-term, then you should be putting, anywhere from 6 to 8% of the value of your home into your kitchen.
Yeah.
If you want to stay longer than 10 years, because after 10 years is pretty much going to be obsolete, go into the higher 12% of the total value of the home. Okay, so that's a good guideline. You always get clients that like, well, I absolutely want the Sub-Zero fridge. Okay, well, that's like not part of the budget, so you're going to put that aside, and that's fine.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So,
Wow. Okay.
There's a lot. People don't realize the amount of planning that it takes.
Oh yeah.
And they don't realize when you get into the renovations, like my renovations usually take about 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Which is not long.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's hard on the homeowners.
Yes.
They're done. It's always week 6. You hit week 6 and they're like,
I'm gonna stop this already.
I'm getting texts and then like 2 o'clock in the morning, there's so much dust. I'm fed up.
Now it's even worse with the labor shortage. Like,
the materials.
Well,
I would think
things have come back now. Everything is
the
pretty
material.
much
It's
now.
the workers. It's
Yes.
they take that now. There's so much work that they take whatever they can, and they come based on my experience. I don't know. I'm not saying everyone's like this, but they'll come to show their face, and then 2 weeks will go by. And then they'll come back just to show their face to like kind of appease the situation because they took 5 jobs at the same time. So they're appeasing everyone. It's just appeasing. And at a certain point, you're like, fuck.
exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
Come on, man.
No, I all the time, I would say probably 80% of my clients come to me because they've had bad experiences with contractors.
100%.
Okay, yeah.
And,
100%.
And so I take on the responsibility of if they want to hire their own, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go with my guy, they're going to do it my way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it.
100%.
And it's my way. And that's it. Because I've been doing this long enough. And I know how things work. So it's my way.
But in terms of, let's say, for example, the style, the dimensions of the rooms, let's say, because the dimensions and the colors, let's face it, they change. Even the appliances, they go from white to stainless, back to white, and now you have more open concept. So I guess the boxed, closed room is now more open concept. Do you inform, I guess, when you have a client and they want a specific style, do you help them keep with the trend, or do you go based on what they want, in the sense of, even though it goes against what you see or envision in that kitchen, let's say?
So one of the things that I do, and that's where the fashion kind of comes in play as well, because I'm looking at trends that are coming down the way.
Yeah.
The market here in Canada, in Montreal, is very different from other markets in Europe, let's say. Okay. So, and I'm part of a lot of groups in the UK, in the US, to see like what's going on with that. But I try, a lot of times clients will come to me, they already have a style. They know, I advise them to go on Pinterest.
Yes.
And I said, just go and pick things that make you happy.
Yeah.
Just like, even if it's the color, it's the lighting, it's whatever, it's just something in that picture. Yeah. And they build mood boards so that I can get an idea of what they want.
Okay, nice.
So I'm not expecting them to know what they like. And yes, you're right. I do guide them into what I'm seeing that has been around, because a lot of people like the things that have been around for a long time. Yeah. And I'm like, listen, I've seen it for the last 8 years. Let's move it along. There's something else. This is what's coming up.
Yeah.
And, I try and guide them into those areas, so that it's not that it's timeless, it's just that it's kind of they're a little bit ahead.
Okay.
And so, it's not obsolete in their house in 4 years from now.
Well, that's it, because what happens when you redo a kitchen and then all of a sudden becomes obsolete and they say, well, they have to redo the whole thing over again.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I have a quote that I found and I'd like to your take on it.
Okay.
Home is more than a place, it's a feeling. What can you tell us about that?
So we had a cottage up in Morin Heights.
Yeah, beautiful area.
We chose red couches because we always drank red wine.
Oh, that is so funny.
But everybody that would come into that space, they would literally just exhale.
Nice.
They just, like, there was a vibe.
We can spill it and it's all good. Don't worry about it.
But it's just, there was a vibe.
Yeah.
And they just felt comfortable, and they relaxed. And I believe that there is energy in space.
Yes.
I'm a little bit like that, in the sense that you can feel the energy of a space.
Yeah.
And so I truly, truly believe that it's a feeling.
Yeah.
And when I design, I don't design for myself.
Okay.
I design for my clients. So it's irrelevant what my style and what I like. Mm-hmm. I need to discover what it is that makes them happy.
Yeah.
And when they walk in the space, that they just don't want to leave.
So in terms of understanding your client, because I guess it's more of a rapport-based profession, where you have to meet your client, you get a vibe, I would imagine, from your client, be it a couple, be it a single person, you have to understand that vibe, and also in terms of colors.
Yes.
So from that point on, because you essentially do your own design of, let's say, the kitchen or the bathroom. Mm-hmm. So how is it that when somebody comes to you, and let's say somebody's completely lost?
Yeah.
and you say, well, go on Pinterest. But if they don't understand, or they say, I just want a kitchen that's beautiful, that's functional, that's contemporary, modern, how would you guide a client?
Right. So a lot of times what they say might not necessarily be what they want.
Yeah.
Because contemporary, for me, it may be something different for the client.
Okay.
So I really have to figure out what it is that they're actually saying versus and what they actually have in their head. It's sometimes two different things. So if they say to me, I want a contemporary area, whatever, and so I will start showing them pictures. If they can't go themselves, I will show them, okay, this is contemporary. This is contemporary.
Okay.
How do you feel about this?
Okay.
I would say a majority of the time, it usually comes out that people have transitional style, which is it's kind of a foot in the old traditional, and the modern. So it's transitional.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they like cleaner lines, but they don't like the flat surfaces, the shiny surfaces, which are out, by the way.
Yeah.
They don't want all of that stuff. They want it to be kind of like a mix of the two.
Okay.
That is a really popular style here in Montreal. Very popular.
Will that maintain itself, or do you think
it has been maintaining itself for a really long time?
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, I know I see a lot of people who like the rustic, not necessarily the rustic. I'm not a really rustic person.
Yeah.
I like the marble.
Yeah.
I like the clean, the open space.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people, they have a variety of tastes. So for I myself, I would love to redo my kitchen.
Yeah.
I really need to redo my kitchen. And my space, it's a 73 home.
Yep.
Right? But we want to update a 73 home.
Yep.
You see, would it match in terms, if I envision something in terms of more of a modern space, let's say?
Right.
Because as a person, as a homeowner, even as a condo owner, as a owner of a property, we walk in with this vision of what we would like to have, meaning budget and whatnot. But in order to guide the person to properly speak it, I guess that's when you would come on board and say, look, this is exactly how I can guide you. Now, how would you be able to guide them on a budget? Let's say, how do you work when you have to guide somebody on a budget and they don't have much and they can't go over, or maybe they can? How would you work within those parameters?
So there's, so a lot of times I do custom cabinetry. It's just the nature of the beast, how it was. There's other options available. There are certain things that I will tell you, listen, you don't need to spend a lot of money on this. We don't need to have all these bells and whistles. You don't need the pull-out garbage with the 2 bins and the recycling that cost $1,000 extra. But the kitchen faucet, you have to spend money on your kitchen faucet.
Yeah.
It's one of the most used pieces. And so you need to go higher end on that. And so that's where I kind of, guide them. If also though too, is that a lot of the stuff as a designer is managing expectations.
Yes.
This big, it's a really big thing because, everybody wants champagne dreams on a beer budget and it doesn't work.
And a beer, I love that.
I'll take the beer for now. I mean, whatever.
But so that's the thing is that, it's managing those expectations.
Yeah.
I've been doing this long enough that I can walk into a space and know right away what I want done to the space and how much roundabout it's going to cost.
Okay.
And that's just experience.
Okay.
There's different materials that you can choose that, you have different levels of grades of materials for a kitchen cabinetry. More drawers are more expensive. The more drawers you have, the more expensive it's going to be. Cabinet doors are less expensive. So you could take literally the same space and you could price a kitchen for $50,000 in that space, but then you can also make it for $20,000 just by tweaking little things.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So the OGs at the top, like most people want cabinets that go all the way to the top now.
Yes.
That's kind of like the
that's
thing,
the
right?
end thing.
So you have OGs, which are very travaillé, like they're all kind of, that's more expensive.
Yeah.
If you just get a flat, ajustement, then it's fine.
It's like the granite, right?
It saves yourself.
It's like granite. If you get a square cut, it's simpler than
a rounder.
Like round cut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Countertops. I don't do I haven't done in any of my spaces, like the arborite, but that is an option. I really, really encourage people to go with the countertops because I think it's it's super important. It's your space. I would rather cut in different
100%.
Areas.
It is so worth.
Right.
Even if it costs double what it costs, it's still worth it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still worth it.
But there's ways also too to go shopping, and they have remnants, and then if your space is able to accommodate that, and it's a leftover, they'll give it to you at a discount price.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So those kind
and
of
you don't
things.
need the most expensive granite, or you don't need the most expensive quartz.
Exactly.
There's different variations.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I found a way to go pick my own slab. But the first time I didn't know that. I thought they were all the same because I went with granite.
Okay.
So we picked a slab.
Yep.
And luckily it's my cousin who's the granite guy.
Yep.
He just cut it for me.
Okay.
And he's like, "Is this what you want?" And he sent me a picture, and it looked defective. It looked like a child scratched it with a crayon.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, "No, what the hell is that?" He's like, "Well, that's the slab you chose." I was like, No, that's the model I wanted, but I wanted the perfect version of that. He goes, "Dude, granite is granite.
Yeah.
It's a stone. Quartz is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They grind
It's
it
uniform.
down.
Yeah.
It's uniform. They grind down the granite and they make it perfect.
Exactly.
But a real stone," he goes, "you got to actually pick the slab." So I went back, and if you find the right cut, then you like I went through 6 or 7 different ones because I didn't find the right one. I didn't find the right design that right through the counter was.
Exactly.
But there's ways of going. You could spend 50,000 and
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
10,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So-
Definitely. And
The trick is don't look at the $50,000 one.
I know, but that's
Don't look.
you're more prone into going to that.
Because you look and you're like, well, I want that one.
I want
Yeah,
that one.
no.
Can I have that one at $10,000?
I'm not driving the Maserati if I gotta buy a Civic. I'm not driving it.
Right.
But I mean, I know for the difference between the granite and the quartz, it's if you put something hot on it, right? If I understand correctly, you'll have the stains. So you have to be really careful.
So with granite, it handles higher
the heat,
heat.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's more porous.
Yeah.
So if you cut it, then food stuff gets in there, and it's
done deal.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Whereas with quartz, it's less heat. You don't put pans straight away onto it that's hot, but it's
Microbial.
Microbial.
Yeah.
So. But it's a different. It's completely different. I would say 80% of the people go with quartz now.
Really?
Yeah. It's really a shift.
Yeah.
It's really
I know.
truly
I
a shift.
noticed that. But the one thing I can tell you, and I'm not in interior design, but I know the black ones, if you put a glass and you leave that watermark on there too long, if you don't wipe it, it'll stay there. Like you wipe it off, you'll see it.
Yeah.
In like.
If it's a uniform black. If it's a uniform black, it's not.
No, it's a marble. It's like a marble, black and white kind. Like there's white strands through it and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Veiny,
I know.
veiny.
I know which one it is. Yeah.
But you kind of like, you need to wipe it not right away, but if you if you leave a glass there for 2 days, you'll see a circle there.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Someone told me, so I'm like a fucking Nazi at home. Wipe the fucking glass! Like my kids are like teenagers. No! There's signs everywhere, but
Well, it's a good thing. I got travertine for my dining room table. They don't show that anymore. They don't show that anymore.
No.
And I noticed that they even have the little holes with the crystals inside.
Yes.
And if you tap it the wrong way and it breaks,
Forget it.
Even I tell my daughter, no! She always puts a laptop in there. I want to kill her.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful though. Like
yes, it's
the natural
gorgeous.
Stone is absolutely stunning.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? I think we've evolved in terms of taste. You know what? My house had remember those iridescent cube. You remember the 80s? And I'm like
the wall.
Not even the whole wall. It's like a like you know what I mean? Oh my God, who did this? Who did this? Somebody didn't have a ruler. Somebody's good. They did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there and we're like. Well, it's not so bad. No, no. Whoever has this knows taste.
Yeah, it's definitely a sign of the times. You can definitely see different trends for different eras.
Oh my God, I even see it at Rona, and I'm like, oh my God, these people, what the hell, man? What's wrong with them? So I mean, there's different trends, and I think. Mostly, I mean, people like myself. I'm not an interior designer. I love the problem with me. I like expensive things.
Yeah,
that's my thing, and everything has to work within a budget.
Yeah.
So I would believe that having an interior designer actually helps the situation, because I know there are many homes with smaller spaces.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell to do with them. It's like you just throw a box there or whatever, and you guys really have that vision to sort of say, well, let's create something out of this.
Yeah.
That being said, has there ever been a client that you had that was difficult? Or maybe once it was complete. I know you can't say names, don't say any names.
I'm not saying names.
Don't say any names. No. We all have one. We all have one.
We all have those ones, yeah.
But in terms of, let's say, for example, a difficult client or a client that once you've completed the work they signed off on, they were completely, I don't like it. Like they were really not satisfied.
Right. No, not to that extent.
Okay, good.
Okay, not to that extent. But, you know, yes, there have been clients that have been difficult. And I think, again, it comes back to managing the expectations.
Yeah.
If they are being difficult, it could be that I didn't explain it properly. And so I need to go back and discuss with them what is it that, you know, is causing, what's the issue here?
Yeah.
You know, that's probably 60%. The other 40% is really the person themselves.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have a couple of clients that are, you know, very anxious. They don't trust very easily. They're, you know, so like there's absolutely nothing, I will be there for them all the time and I will answer every question they have.
Yeah.
But, you know, it comes to a point where I just, you know, I do my best. And usually at the end of the project, they're like, you know, I realized like I was being really difficult. I'm sorry. I get that often.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's fine. I understand. It's a big investment.
Of course.
It's a big investment. It's a lot of money. You're doing this once, maybe twice in your life.
Of course.
You're trusting me with this. And I feel privileged. I do feel privileged to be in people's personal spaces. When I'm doing their bathrooms, I get to see how they live. I get to see in their kitchens. They don't want to show me their pantry. You know, like there's that like expired, I don't know what, from 5 years ago, you know, like,
so or that's where it went.
Spices that are like all mixed up and, you know, and it's funny. It's actually kind of cute, I think, because like, it's like, you have no idea what I've seen, but
oh God.
So I don't even think of it. I just, you know, I just go in and I'm not looking at that.
Yeah.
So, but I would say overall, I actually prefer sometimes to have a client that can be more difficult and demanding because it teaches me for the future clients that I have that are going to be demanding and how I'm going to deal with them. So,
that's a good way to look at it. It's a very positive way to look at it.
Right? It is.
Yeah.
And my last client that I had, she was that way. And then, you know, at the end, like she's just said to me, she's like, I know I was difficult and you were great. And I'm like, you know what? You taught me things too. And I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I do. It's a learning process, right?
Yeah,
becomes
exactly.
like an episode of Dr. Phil. You know? Sit
Pretty
down
much.
and like, well, no,
yeah, definitely. I have been in counseling 100%.
Oh my God.
Counseling. I have literally gone in sometimes when I've been on, you know, and I've literally made dinner while, you know, people were looking after their babies because I needed to see them and speak to them. I've done that. You know?
Oh my God, that's so
I've
funny.
done that. I've been like, you know, I don't know, the ground beef. I'm at like, I'm so, you know, this is what we're going to be doing. I mean, I have no issue doing that. It's fine.
Wow.
I get it done. I get it done no matter which way.
Yeah.
Because I love what I do. I wouldn't be doing anything else otherwise.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great. When you enjoy what you're doing and you have a passion for it, why not?
Yeah.
So I think we should go on our game now.
Absolutely.
So we have a game. It's called Rapid Response.
Okay.
So basically, a question is asked and you have like sort of 5 seconds to come up with 3 answers. But we don't really observe
You
the
have
clock
5
here.
seconds, but not really, because we
Yeah,
never.
because it extends.
Okay,
It extends. Like
okay.
we pretend that way, so
Okay.
people just like, oh my God, but really, that's it. You know, it's the first thing that pops into your head, which is like the most ridiculous thing half of the time. but-
Okay. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So, just as an example, I'll ask Lisa the first one.
Okay.
And the first one is name 3 examples, 3 animals you like as pets. You asked yourself that question?
Yes, because I'm exotic, so I like bunnies. As a pet, I had a goat. I did have a goat.
But did you
as a
like
pet.
him?
I did.
Did you eat him is my question.
Sorry?
Did you eat him is my
Yeah,
question,
my father.
right?
And I had a black chicken. Yes.
A black
Black
chicken.
chicken.
Was
His
it
name was Blackie.
Target practice for your dad?
Yes, I know. We had him that evening. I don't want to talk about it. It's not bad memories.
Okay, good.
I love my.
Like at my grandmother's house.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Any animal that you would like to have as a pet? Or do you have a pet?
Dog. I mean, I've always had dogs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just simple that way.
That's okay. All right. I go normal.
Yeah.
I know. I have 2 dogs too, but
It's funny. Once my
Eventually-
friend told me to watch his hedgehog. Like his son had a hedgehog. He's going on vacation.
Cute.
They're cute, right? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So, my wife says, put it in the basement, and he's got a nice little cage and stuff. No problem. And the day passes, and we're like, this guy does nothing.
Nothing.
No noise. This is the easiest pet in the world, right?
probably dead.
Then midnight, I'm like watching TV, half asleep, and all of a sudden, this guy gets in that wheel.
They're nocturnal.
For like 2 hours. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I put him in the bathroom and like fucking soundproofing the bath. He didn't stop for like 2-3 hours, just running and running. I was like, dude, I'm never watching your animal again. Anyway. Okay, back to the game. Name, oh wow, this one's for you. Name 3 sounds. I don't know where she gets
Name
these
3
questions.
sounds.
Name 3 sounds.
Yeah.
See? It's not easy, eh?
Yeah.
Honk.
Horn. A horn. There you go. I just took one. I took the easiest one
I
possible.
said honk.
Honk. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's the easiest one.
Think musical instruments.
Bump.
Perfect.
Oh my god.
A drum.
Okay.
Yeah. Name a sound.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never. I don't know. What?
Like I keep
whistle?
I have in my head like like the
That's a horse.
that one? Well, we were talking animals and then there's noises, so I kind of put them together.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, a whistle. That's a good one. Lisa was whistling there. She was trying to.
That's true.
I was trying to whistle. Nothing was coming up
I
with
know,
honey. Okay.
Hot air. Lisa, well, actually, this is a good question for both. Name 3 games that you play. Like as adults, I would imagine.
Adult games?
Or just games as an adult. Not
Dating?
Monopoly?
Dating?
dating. Yeah, that's a good
Dating?
game.
That's it. Monopoly?
That's a great game.
Yeah, apparently it's a game, yeah.
Twister?
Twister, okay.
And Scopa.
Do you actually play Twister?
I used to.
You used to when you were fucking 16. Now who's gonna? Oh,
Well-
go touch that.
Well, it
little
kind of
circle.
goes into the dating game. they intermingle.
That's yeah. My back's gonna hurt if I play Twister.
Yeah.
I can assure you that. Okay, name 3 things that swim. Hard-hitting questions here on Let's Talk It Out.
I know, but look how fast they don't
Yeah,
tell
I
you.
know.
See?
A fish,
Yeah.
a dog,
True. Yeah.
a shark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. A person?
Person. Lisa, name 3 things you kick.
Balls.
That came out so fast. Did you see that?
Things like balls.
Yes, you said that. You wanted to reiterate that.
No, they're 2 different things.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. Got a soccer ball.
Yeah,
Then balls.
That too. What's that I kick? Leaves.
Who?
Leaves.
Leaves.
Oh, you kick.
What do you mean who?
You go around kicking
Kicking
leaves.
leaves.
Yes,
Yeah,
when there's a
in
mountain
fall.
of leaves in fall.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you, Vanny?
Right, it's not my. It's not
You
my.
don't, you don't embrace nature? It's all right.
Like I'll go in them if I'm drunk or something, but I'm not gonna go around kicking them. But it's okay. It's cool.
And hacky sack.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
Okay.
I just made that
Bing,
up.
bing, bing. Bonus
Okay.
points for that one.
I'm not understanding this one, but name 3 things that tickle. Like
Yes, that tickle.
you. Okay, like a thing that
Yeah, tickle.
If touches you, tickles.
A feather. Like a cover, one of these covers, like
Like a
the
felt?
soft.
Oh,
like a
nice.
felt
Okay,
cover.
that's a good one.
Yeah, true.
A finger.
What the hell is that?
Fingers.
Okay, what is it?
She's going like that, and I'm like this.
No, that's true.
It's like we're
That's
playing
like too
Family
obvious.
Feud here, and you're giving
Captain
your
Obvious.
Survey
Okay,
says.
yeah.
survey says.
The finger.
The finger.
So I think our time is actually up already.
Let me just see. Yeah, we're pretty much. Yeah, we're doing.
See?
Yeah.
Told you, it goes
This
fast.
was awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I
Thanks
had
so
a fantastic
much.
time.
I'm really glad you came. We learned a lot, actually. And you know what? I might be calling you for my kitchen.
Fantastic. I'd love to hear from you.
Where do we find
Yes,
you?
where do we find you?
Where do we?
So I have a website.
Okay.
AmberArdizzoneinteriors.com.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm also on Facebook. My stuff is public. Just look up Amber Ardizzone.
Okay.
And I'm on most social media, Instagram, got a couple of TikToks, and LinkedIn. I'm in most social media.
What's your preferred? I don't want to say style of house, but like if you had to pick like your not dream house, not like a 20. Like, do you like working with 2 floors, bungalows, ranch style? 1 floor. Is there a preferred?
The split levels are a little bit more challenging because they're open to everything, and if we don't have the budget to do everything, and just paint is good. But definitely, the thing is that a cottage, you have the upper space. So unless you're touching the upper space, it's the same thing as a bungalow. Mm-hmm. So it's really... No, I don't really have
You just want the big house.
You know what? No, I just love going in and redesigning spaces and coming up with ideas that the clients didn't think of.
Do you still build, buy homes and build like
the flip houses?
Yeah.
The market right now is not conducive to that. Mm-hmm. I have been looking in Ontario.
Okay.
And perhaps maybe in the U.S. Like I have in the past, but here in Montreal, no, not at this point.
Yeah.
Do you ever need artwork? We can plug some of this artwork in.
Definitely. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to figure out how I can do this because like this artwork here is just absolutely
He does it
stunning.
directly on walls and on canvas. So you don't have to buy he'll come into he's done like a lot of cafes and restaurants in Montreal.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, and he textures them. They're all textured with like a little bit of cement. And
so I have a lot of contacts in commercial.
Oh, great!
So that would definitely be somebody
we can
that
work
I'm
out
interested.
a system where
100%.
Exactly.
It's all about referrals and
That's the name of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amber. Thank you, Steph.
Amber.
Guys,
Thank
tune
you,
in to Let's Talk It Out.
Every Wednesday.
And Sessions with Steph every other Wednesday. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Take care and have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.